Welcome
Yep.
back to the arena. I am joined once again by Yintan and myself.
Hello, everyone, and we have a really interesting pair of setups here. Well, one of them is relatively cookie cutter at the very least. We have Concept Protean bringing Nighthawk, Sleipnir, Loki, Scimitar, Triple Zvipple, Double Skybreaker. So some kind of adaptation of the Mimitar Rush setup and the Nighthawk setup. I'm a little confused about those two Skybreakers there. That seems a little questionable to me, but it's a sacrifice you have to make to get a Scimitar in this comp. What have Fraternity brought here, Suetonia?
Fraternity have actually bought the same comp that they bought last time. However, the Balgon that they had previously has been subbed out for a Vindicator because the Balgon was banned in this match. So Vindicator probably going to fill a similar but kind of a different role here. The Vindicator not having the same long range webs as the Balgon, but it does have that really strong 90% web.
Yeah, and obviously the Vindicator is something that has a great range of play against a rush setup like this. I'm assuming this is a rush setup. Yeah, those are 45s on the Sleipnir, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and interesting enough, Fraternity have bought their two EOSs in very close range, just like they did in the previous match. We saw those EOSs used to screen things, with them having a scram each, and both choosing to screen off a command ship each. It's kind of weird to see the Vindicator more in the back lines instead of on the front lines.
Yeah, it's good that the analyst desk went over screening before this because we're about to watch those Skybreakers and those Vipples do an absolute ton of it here. They need to lock down all of this support, all of these Confessors, and start picking them apart. You can see their damage getting spread across almost the entirety of the Fraternity team there. A really interesting strategy. I'm not sure what advantage that gives you.
I believe that's the Vorton projectors from those Skybreakers. I assume they're trying to kill drones at the same time as shooting, and it's jumping across their whole team.
Still is doing a surprising amount of damage, and nothing really is getting done about this Concept Protean team. We're seeing a little bit of damage here, finally going on to Zubies. He's got a single web on him, so he should be okay. Yeah, there you go. You've seen he's entered defensive mode. He's repping up quite nicely. Jack Germ is taking some DPS here in the Confessor, and he is much more severely tackled. You can see there's two webs on him, and that's going to make it much easier for the top end of the Concept Protean team to project down onto it.
Yeah, we're seeing damage coming in on the Seapool Zubals. He looks like he's tanking quite now. Lokar also taking some amount of damage, seeing some damage coming onto Confessors, but it's mostly being wrapped back up, although quick QXLT4's EOS, hard name to
Look
say.
at him. He is right in between them. The Vexers have got on top of him. They've neutered out his adaptive, and he's dead. Sorry, his multi-spectrum hardener even. Lokar is also caught down there. You can see he's scrammed out by those Confessors. They went too deep. They pulled away from their logistics, and they are paying for it. You can even see there that the EOSs are now in the midst of their fleet. This is really bad.
Yeah, losing the Sequel there, a bad trade, especially since they weren't able to get a Confessor for it. The EOS of QX is now also tanking, so I wonder if that's the reactive that's now set in, and he's now able to tank. We're seeing Skybreakers shoot the EOS, though. Oh, now the Sequel just went down, and some of the drones are starting to get cleared out of the Fraternity side.
Yeah, those are so powerful in this comp. Like, those Skybreakers should be doing work to slowly bring down that attack bar of Fraternity, but you can see it is still girthy. There is absolutely tons of DPS they can still push out onto the grid. Even as the Vexor starts going down here, they're starting to trade off some of this lower T1 resist support, but it's not going to be enough. We're too late in the match now, and so much DPS has been taken. Sorry, so much control has been taken off the field for Concept Protean. It's going to be tough. Oh, the Scimitar's tackled.
Oh, that's not looking good, and he's also taking a ton of damage here too.
Yeah, Vindy's got on top of him. How the hell did that happen?
Well, I guess that happens when you have three Confessors that are freed up and are just able to ram him down, and Vindicator just follows up on what they were able to achieve.
Yeah, that is brutal. Yeah, Vexor finally goes down, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know about you, Suetonia, but I wouldn't consider a Logistics and 2 Zwippals a good trade for a Vexor.
No, the Vexor definitely did its job. We saw the two Seapools dying pretty early here. I mean, the Fraternity's comp is so strong just because there's so many ships, you don't have enough ships to screen. You know, when you have 3 Vexors and 3 Confessors or able to tackle something, you can't mark every single one of them. So they were just able to just get into the backline, grab that scimitar. As soon as one of them grabs it, the Vindicator can follow up on it. That Vindicator is actually
Oh,
taking a
wow.
lot of damage.
Jesus, it killed that Loki in about 2 seconds flat, though. Yeah, I think he must have he burned way out of the Aneros' range. You can see it sitting there almost the entire way across the arena, one of the furthest ships away from things. The Skybreaker of Izafan is slowly heading towards it to try and keep it from getting in any closer. The Vindicator might go down here, but they're going to trade it for a Sleipnir at the very least, and that is such, that's going to secure the victory for them, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's already pretty heavily in Frat's favor. If they can't kill the Sleipnir as well, I think the Vindicator's going to be tanking because he was barely breaking before, and now it's looking like he is just probably going to tank now that the Sleipnir's dead.
Yeah, those Eoses, their newts are so potent against these Minmatar ships too, being able to turn off their one hardener. You can see here they've now got on top of Wu Jiangu in the Swipple, and that is another casualty there. Concept Protean going down. They managed to avoid a slam dunk, but I think that might be their only kill. Oh no, you see this Confessor Jack Germ finally taking a bit of damage there.
Yeah, he took a big chunk there, but it looks like he's stabilizing again. You see a Vexor of Garveen maybe taking a bit too much damage, but at this point, I don't see any victory condition left for the Concept Protean team. Even if they clear out like 2 Vexors and a couple of Confessors, there's no way that they're going to be able to win the match, unfortunately. Interestingly, we did see Skybreakers picked against this drone comp, and it looks like they just weren't effective enough. Even though we expected them to be very strong at defanging these drone comps.
Yeah, and they were shooting by the looks of it enemy DPS the whole time. Maybe that was the problem, but still, you would have expected a lot of those bounces to go onto the drones as the match progressed and start to whittle away the DPS, but just didn't happen. Another Nighthawk down there.
Yeah, the fact that the Fraternity aren't completely invested in drones either, right? They still have that Vindicator that's bringing 1.5k DPS that you just can't defang. Is also like another like I think strong adaptation to this drone comp. They're not completely all in on drones in case they come up against the perfect counter. They still have like a decent amount of DPS from these Confessors, this Vindicator, and the Vexes.
Yeah, those Confessors are super powerful too. Having 3 of them, if you've ever looked at the stats of an overheated Confessor, you can do 600 DPS for almost the entirety of an AT match, and that's so powerful coming from a Destroyer.
Just the 2 Skybreakers left alive now, so not really much left that they can do except for maybe try to go for the arena records if they can break Casper's record. We see good fights called in local here, so it seems like they've acknowledged Fraternity's victory. We
Looks
do
like
have one of
Zafan's running for it, running for the edge at the very least.
Yeah, he's turning around now, but the Skybreaker of Arixen has been caught down by these 2 Confessors. They have webs on him, so he's going to die pretty soon once the drone cloud catches up to him. And Zephan, it looks like he is being kind of honorable and or dishonorable and just kind of zooming around the arena.
Just prolonging his team's suffering. Still, this was a really interesting match. It's interesting to, like you said, these guys brought the counter to the comp. Fraternity felt confident enough to play it here. So you have to imagine that this is going to be one of the baseline comps that we'll see a lot of as we go into the first day of the Alliance tournament.
Yeah, what was super interesting there is it kind of feels like the support fight was kind of what won that fight. Just losing those 2 Sweeples meant that the Confessors were just able to run rampant, pick up the web on the Aneros, and the Vindicator was just able to follow up on that. And once the Vindicator has the web on, there's no way you're saving your Scimitar anymore.
Yeah, those Vexes are so powerful against specifically the Zwippers as well. The fact that they can lock them down with with medium neutralizers even, it just decimates you as a Zwipple. Even if you have a NOS, you can't run all of your modules off of just a NOS's cap. And it's just crippling to be sitting there and getting shot by, 400, 500 DPS of a Vexer. You're going to die before it will.
And interestingly, these Vexes don't seem to have any turrets whatsoever, so they're full Newt Vexes. So getting one of those on the logistics is not going to be great either.
There we go, though. It's finally over. He has finally been killed, and the match is won here for Fraternity. So let's hand over to our man who's looking pretty in pink, Casper 24.